Bonaduce, life coach. Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
All right, boys and girls, it's time for Danny Bonaduce, life coach. I hope you are getting ready to give me a call, 1-800-252-1025. We also take your emails at lifecoach@kzok.com. Life Coach brought to you by Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. Let's talk to George in Bellevue. Good morning, George.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. So I'm looking at your phone call and your problem. And by the way, thank you very much for calling. How much information can you give us on this?
Okay, well, a friend of mine was caught switching tags in a department store.
Right.
Was detained by the security.
Right.
Police were not called. They just kind of harassed her for a little while.
Okay, so it's a girl.
And, yeah.
Okay.
And then let her go. And now she's getting these letters from this law firm saying that she owes like $350 for some civil penalty.
Right.
And
you're aware this is a shakedown, man. This is an absolute shakedown. I can tell you right now.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if you already know this is a shakedown, go on with your story. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I got all excited.
Oh, go ahead.
So go on with the rest of your story. Tell me the details that you can give me.
Well, that's it, basically. That's the whole story.
All right, so I'm telling
her to ignore this.
All right, so I'm sorry, what was your advice?
I'm telling her to ignore this.
Your advice is stellar. That's exactly what you should do. As a matter of fact, if she's really mad, let's just pretend this is you, George, and you're getting really worked up and you're getting really mad. Lawyers are officers of the court. If for some reason there's an actual lawyer who's bored and feels they have time to put stuff out on letterhead and things like that, there is no end to the problems that you could cause this person. Start with that it's a lawyer and that they're shaking somebody down. Second, if it's false information about a crime that's been committed and a stamp's put on that on an envelope saying that, then that might be an actual federal crime. So I'm going to go with your advice, George, and that's ignore it. But let your friend know that the ball is actually in her court. If she gets mad with almost no effort on her part, she could cause these guys, it could reverse course completely, and she could be the one doing the shakedown. Hey, I want this, and this, or I'll shut this firm down. This is on your letterhead. I don't even care if it's an assistant who did it. It's on your letterhead. You're absolutely right, George. She should admit it ignore it, because even if she decides to go after it, it's actually more problems than it's worth. It's not going to be a giant payday for her. She should just listen to your advice, and I'm glad you still called the life coach, man, because it's a great call. But yeah, I got to go with George on this, and this young lady should just ignore it, and if she doesn't want to, then it's going to be a little legwork, and I think the payoff is going to be kind of small. Hey, thanks, George. I appreciate the phone call.
If you've got a question for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach, now would be the time to call 800-252-1025. He's been through it all, and he can help you with your problem as well. Make the call now, 800-252-1025.
You know, when I was looking at that phone call that he thinks a friend of his is getting shaken down, and we always talk about, Danny's been through it all. Totally been through a shakedown. Totally. I've actually a couple.
Jeez.
Yeah. Me and Mario Lopez, and I'll say right now, my advice to him was ignore this. You didn't do anything wrong, immoral, or illegal. Ignore this. But he chose, I don't know what he chose to do because he's all hush-hush about it. I said, you know what? I'm bulletproof at this point. Nobody thinks I'm a great guy. My reputation will not be hurt by this. But people shake people down.
Kathy and Enumclaw, you're on with Danny.
Hey, Kathy.
Morning, sunshine.
What's up, sweetheart?
I was taking my 14-year-old daughter to try on swimsuits because she's going to a week-long field trip in Florida next week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And the 19 to 20-year-old attendant at a huge department store in our area put her in the second changing room. He then went into the first changing room and locked himself in. As a parent, I freaked out and went to her door and called her name out. That attendant then ran from the dressing room.
Right.
And then he heard me go and talk to a manager, and about 4 minutes after that, him and a friend were surrounding us in the store and circling us saying, hey, did you get those extra clothes out of changing room number 1?
I don't fully understand. I get the first part that somebody's peeping at your kid, and I hate it. What's the second part with the extra clothes?
It just, they were making it a point to let me know that they were not in there. They were just making it a point to make a point of letting me see them and saying stuff to make me think they were doing something else
Like
in there.
covering up the fact that he was
okay,
peeping.
I get it. So what is your question for me?
My question is, do I call? They are supposed to talk to me at noon, but what should I? Do I put my foot down and want to know if they fired the guy? If they fired the guy, do I?
Well, here's the thing: the more that you want to know, the more you're going to get involved. If these people are telling you, "Hey, did you get those extra clothes?" Lord knows where they'll stop being weird people. Because this is weird. I've seen that. I've thought I've seen this more than once at a store. I didn't say anything. Nobody got hurt. But I thought I saw this more than once. The people getting a peep show. And to be honest, although they were above the age of 18, I saw a naked lady in the changing room one time. But the fact that you're talking about a 14-year-old, all the antennas should go up. So I say, as long as it's within the law, as long as you're just going to a manager or something, you can't be too careful when this comes to the safety of your kids. I think you did absolutely the right thing. And by the way, this is such a dangerous area. I would be almost confident in telling you this person's been fired already. Or shift to another area where there aren't changing rooms, because that's just such a huge call. I thought this person spied on my underage daughter. That person's gone already. So sleep easy. And thank you very much for the call, Kelly.
This is Danny Bonaduce, life coach, and Wesley in Puyallup is up next.
No, Wesley's not. We lost you. Sorry, man.
Wesley.
I'm sorry.
Wesley, call back if you would like to talk to Danny Bonaduce, life coach. Mike in Fall City, you're on.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Danny?
All good. What's up?
I purchased a truck here in a dealership in Seattle,
Right.
and I bought it. It was used it had a power commander on the diesel stuff. So they said there was no warranty, so I purchased a 3-year aftermarket warranty.
Right.
So recently, last week, my transmission went out. So I went back to the dealership to find out what to do with the issue. They told me to take it to another dealership, and so I went and left it there. It's still there now. It's 9 days. They voided the warranty because of this power commander on my diesel motor.
Right.
So they pocketed my $3,300, and now my truck's sitting at this other dealership waiting to get fixed.
Well, let me ask you one question, and that is, because when you buy as is, there's certain things you take, they're going to be your responsibility. But on the other hand, even buy as is, if you get it from a reputable dealer, it's going to be hard to make it stick. But there's a thing called the Lemon Law. I even know the phone number for it. I believe it's 1-800-LEMON-LAW. I could be wrong on that, but I think that's what it is. They can't give you, and here's my question for you. Did they know, or do you believe that they knew they were selling you a car that would break before its warranty was up?
Yes, they did, because they put a tranny in it for me.
They put a tranny in your car? Did you pay extra for that? Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Yep, and then it went out in 19,000 miles, and now they want to do it again.
No, I think, and they don't want to deal with you because, let's make sure that they know that you're going to make this real public, because nobody, especially in the retail business, wants to be a real, they sold you a lemon. That's the cardinal rule. Don't do that. I would get either threaten to get a lemon lawyer or get a lemon lawyer. But yeah, you have recourse on this. They can't sell you anything from a licensed dealer, because all the laws that are involved with being a licensed dealer, it's kind of a big deal. If they broke that with forethought, they are liable for your truck, and they'll probably pay off before this comes to this, because they know, I didn't make this law up. They know it exists, and they'll probably go, damn, he found out about this law too. Let's just pay him off and get Mike the hell out of here, because he's right. So go for it, man, and they will probably take care of business and give you $3,300 back. I appreciate the call, Mike.
Jennifer in Port Angeles, you're on with Danny Bonaduce, life coach.
Hey, Jennifer, what's up, darling?
Well, Danny, I am a single woman, and I'm going to go look at a used car tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm a little bit intimidated by the fact that I don't have a man to go with me, and the salesman, I don't know, I'm just really afraid they're going to try to do an end run, give me less for my trade-in or whatever.
Well, I will tell you, you don't feel silly about that. It's totally true. You're going to love this. There was a business. I don't know if it was in California when I was growing up, or if it was nationwide. I'm thinking nationwide. And as women, single women, would hire a cat that act like your friend or your whoever it was, they had a relationship with them, and they'd go and look at, and it looked like you're going to go in and be able to talk to this guy, and people would go and pretend to be your husband or friend, because they don't really look at the car. They'll look at the car, they don't have any expertise. Some might, then some of them might not. I would go with you happily, and I have no, ability to fix the car. If the battery's dead, I am screwed. But there are people, so don't feel bad about this. Here's what I want you to do, because is it a reasonable auto lot?
him, so I'm going through my bank's auto buying program. And
Yeah. You know what? I'd love to stir this up because it's always fun. But the fact that you're probably okay, here's what I'm going to advise you to do. And don't explain these at all. Just these are for you. Take some pictures. Take some pictures of the engine. Take some pictures of the upholstery. Take some pictures. And they're going to go, oh, man, she's got a recourse. If we say the car was doing this, she can prove the way it was. You don't have to do anything with those pictures. It just makes you look like you know what you're talking about. And here's the thing, like I said to our last caller, car lots, there's so much licensing and insurance that goes on that most of them are above board. And especially if you're going through your bank, I will think you will be absolutely fine, Jennifer. So, take a couple of snapshots so the dealer goes, oh, man, she's doing her due diligence. But you'll be fine. But the pictures will be there if by chance you need them. Thank you, Jennifer.
Good luck to you, Jennifer. And Mike in Tacoma is up next on Danny Bonaduce Life Coach.
Hey, Mike.
Hey.
What's up, man?
I had a van repossessed back in January 2013.
Right.
And I've recently been served with paperwork. I don't know if you guys can hear me right now. My voice is kind of sore.
No, I can hear you.
All right. I got served maybe 2-3 weeks ago from a law firm that the company talked to out here with no court date or anything. And they served me late according to what was on the paperwork.
Right.
And I do have a court appointed attorney who's talking with me. And
on a debt case, you have a court appointed attorney?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm also a service member, so the Patriot Act says that I have to be.
No, I think that's great, and God love you for being a serviceman. So, all right, at the do-all end-all, what is your question about this?
The company wouldn't work with me even when I proposed $20 per month. I have paid that much before they said, no, we can't do it any longer. So when they said that, I quit paying them, and because I'm in a financial bind. And now they're still not working with me for $125 a month or $250 a month.
Right.
So,
what's your court-appointed attorney say to do?
Right now, he's just talking to their attorney,
right,
and trying to get a handshake on what can be done.
Yeah, I got to tell you something here. Lawyers don't do anything on a handshake. If you were paying that attorney, he would not accept your handshake. I think that this is costing them more money than they're willing to recover on this. It's a law firm, that's fine, but in this time, they've taken the position of a collection agency, and that's all they're doing. And, they're taking handshakes, and they're changing the deal, $100 a week to $100 a month. They're just trying to figure out any way to get a buck or two. Make sure with your lawyer that they can't come after you too much, but I would not give too much thought to these guys. They are more than willing to go away, and they've made it clear they're more than willing to go. This costs them money they don't have, nor do they want to spend. You're a serviceman with $20 a month or something like that, and times are super tough for you. Imagine if you're these guys and they're telling you, hey, you can pay less, and you can pay. They're trying to make a deal because they're in a bad spot, and it doesn't matter if you pay or not. I just don't want it to go too far and get on your credit, but nobody's really coming after you this hard on this, guys. You get your lawyer to close them down and close all avenues of recourse, and you'll be fine, man. Thank you very much for the call, Mike. I believe we have time for one more.
We do. Menudo in Yelm is up next.
Hey, Menudo, and by the way, this is completely okay. I'm just curious. Is that your actual name?
Yeah.
Wow. You're a tripe soup?
I'm sorry?
That's one of my favorite things in the world. You're named after a tripe soup?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's cool. I love Menudo. It's one of my favorite things, although they kick you out when you're 16. All right, so what can I do for you, man?
I just wanted to find out about convicted felons associated with other convicted felons. As I understand it, it's supposed to be against the law.
It is against the law.
But is that a permanent thing, or is it only as long as they're on probation?
Well, it's a permanent thing. No, only as long as you're on probation. Once you're not on probation, you can associate with anybody you want. But the probation department or parole department, depending on what you're going through, is kind of easy about this. I was on probation for a little while, and I was told that I can't be within 500 feet of a convicted felon. I said, how the hell am I supposed to know? And they said, don't worry about it. And I don't know why he chose an airplane, but I mentioned this before. He said, if you get on an airplane, there's going to be 3 other people on parole on it. He said, don't worry about it. Just don't associate with anybody on parole in anything that is illegal or immoral or using too many drugs. So it's only this length of your probation, and then it will go away. So is that your entire question, man? Because you can associate as long as you're not doing anything bad with them, and you really shouldn't know they're convicted felons, but it does go away the second you're off parole. All right, I hope you're all cool there, Menudo. I love that name. That's all the time we have for Danny Bonaduce, Life Coach today. Life Coach, of course, brought to you by Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE.